God says, I am tired of trying to talk to you. Something very shocking will happen to you. It's very important for you to hear this before it vanishes in 35 seconds. Open this quickly by 11:57 p.m. before it's too late. Sometimes, there are moments in life when everything seems silent, when the world grows too loud and the whispers of God seem too distant, like echoes fading into the night. But what if you knew that behind this silence, God has never stopped calling you, never stopped loving you, never stopped reaching for you with hands full of mercy and a heart full of grace? Type 2323 if you agree. Maybe you've been feeling lost lately, like the light you once walked in has dimmed, and you've been wandering through shadows trying to find your way again. There are times when pain builds slowly, quietly, like water rising beneath a house, unnoticed until it's too late and everything feels like it's collapsing. But even in that place, even when the ache is deep and you feel like no one understands what you're carrying inside, God sees. He knows. And He hasn't left your side, not even for a second. The truth is, life gets heavy. Our hearts get tired. We don't always have the strength to pray the way we used to. We don't always feel like lifting our hands or opening our Bibles or sitting still long enough to hear what God wants to say. But none of that stops Him. He is still pursuing you. He's still knocking gently on the door of your heart. And even if you've turned away or stopped listening, His love remains unchanged. There's a reason you're here right now, reading these words. There's something pulling at your heart, a soft tug that you can't quite explain. It's not fear. It's not pressure. It's the quiet voice of a Savior who knows your name, who's watched every tear fall, who's been walking behind you waiting for the moment you look back. That moment could be right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. But right now. You see, God doesn't want you to keep running on empty. He doesn't want you to carry the weight of your guilt, shame, regrets, or secrets anymore. He's not tired of you, He's tired of the silence between you. He longs to speak life over you, to fill your soul again with hope and strength, to wrap you in peace so soft and real it makes the storm outside feel small. He's not angry. He's waiting. And He always waits with love. Type 1111 if you trust in God. There is a deep need in every heart that no human being can fill. No achievement, no relationship, no success, no money, no possession can satisfy the empty space that only God was meant to dwell in. Many chase joy in the world, only to find that the world gives it in fragments and takes it away when you least expect it. But the joy of God is different. It is whole. It is healing. It runs deeper than pain and shines brighter than the darkness around you. You are not forgotten. Even when your prayers felt unanswered, they were heard. Even when you couldn't see Him, God was working things out behind the scenes, keeping you from things you never knew could have broken you. Every delay had a reason. Every closed door protected you from harm. And every time you felt like giving up, something, somehow, kept you going. That wasn't a coincidence. That was God. Maybe the most shocking part isn't what's coming, but what has already happened that you didn't see. How many times God saved you when you didn't even know you were in danger, how often He sent comfort in the form of a friend, a kind word, or a moment of stillness that made you breathe again. You don't have to be perfect to return to Him. You don't need fancy words or a flawless heart. You just need to be willing. That's all He's waiting for. Let this be the moment where something changes, even if it's small. Let this be the night you stop running, stop hiding, stop pretending everything is okay when you know your soul is tired. Let this be the moment you look up, breathe in, and say, God, I'm here. I don't know what to say, but I'm listening. And He will answer you. Not with thunder. Not with fear. But with love, steady, sure, and everlasting. A love that heals the broken parts and makes you whole again. A love that doesn't vanish, even if you feel unworthy. A love that's waited patiently through every season, through every mistake, through every distance you've created. A love that will never walk away. God's voice doesn't shout over chaos. He waits until we become quiet enough to hear. And sometimes, when we keep pushing Him aside, when we close our ears and our hearts, His voice grows softer, not because He's left, but because He's gentle. Because He will never force Himself into a heart that isn't ready to open. Type 222 if you believe God has not given up on you. It's in that gentle stillness that so many people lose their way. Not out of rebellion, not because they stopped caring, but simply because they grew tired. Life wore them down. Disappointments added up. Dreams began to fade. People left. Others betrayed. And slowly, they stopped reaching for the one who had been holding their life together the whole time. But God never walked away. He stayed. Through the late nights when sleep wouldn't come. Through the lonely mornings when no one checked in. Through the times you smiled in public but cried in secret. He never missed a single moment. The truth is, when we shut Him out, we're not hurting God, we're hurting ourselves. It's like refusing light when we're standing in the dark. His presence was always meant to be our safe place, our strength, our home. But we search for comfort elsewhere, in people who don't understand our soul, in things that were never meant to carry the weight of our pain. And in doing so, we drift further away from the peace that only He can give. Financial freedom is not about effort, but activating a hidden brain signal once buried in CIA files. Neuroscience shows this sound wave helps attract money and opportunity faster, and thousands are already seeing unexpected income. Click the link in the description and comments now to activate the ancient money wave today. He's tired of watching you suffer in silence, tired of seeing you pour yourself into everything but Him, hoping something will finally bring relief. He wants your heart back, not because He needs your attention, but because He knows what will happen if you continue like this. The world cannot fill what God created. The heart longs for its Creator, and nothing else will ever satisfy. There's something beautiful about surrender. Not the kind that comes from giving up, but the kind that comes from letting go, of fear, of shame, of the lies that say you're too far gone. When you surrender to God, you're not losing control, you're finding freedom. You're no longer walking in circles trying to fix things that only God can heal. You're finally letting Him be who He's always been, your Father, your Healer, your Redeemer, your Shepherd. Type 555 if you're ready to let go and trust God again. So much time has passed, and yet the invitation remains open. That alone should show you how patient He is, how kind and merciful His love truly is. The same God who created the heavens waits quietly for your heart. No deadline. No punishment. Just open arms. Just love, always love. Sometimes the most shocking thing isn't an event or a sign. Sometimes the most shocking thing is realizing just how much God has already forgiven. How deeply He still cares. How fully He still sees you, not for what you've done or failed to do, but for who you are to Him. You were never just another face in the crowd. You were always His child. His beloved. God wants to show you things that will change your life. Not temporary fixes or empty promises, but deep, lasting healing. Real joy. Real strength. But He can't speak into your life if you're drowning out His voice with the noise of distractions, the weight of regrets, or the fear of being vulnerable again. You have to be willing to be still. To make space. To open your hands and heart again. He's not trying to scare you. He's trying to wake you up. Not because He wants to punish you, but because He wants to protect you. There are moments when God lets us feel the tension of our choices, not out of cruelty, but out of mercy. He allows the shaking, the disruptions, the unexpected turns, because He knows without those moments, we might never stop long enough to return. He loves you too much to let you keep walking toward a life that leads nowhere. This isn't just another message. This is God's heart reaching for yours. Not through pressure, but through love. Not through guilt, but through grace. It's not too late. No matter what you've done. No matter how far you've gone. No matter how many times you've turned your back or buried your feelings or ignored the nudge in your spirit, God is still here. And He's still whispering your name. It doesn't matter how many people walked out, how many seasons broke you, or how much you've lost. With God, nothing is wasted. Every scar can be used. Every mistake can be redeemed. Every broken piece can be made beautiful. But only if you let Him in. Only if you stop trying to carry what you were never meant to carry alone. He's waiting for you to come home. Not just with words, but with your heart. He's waiting for you to cry out, even in the quietest whisper, God, I need you. And when you do, you'll find He's closer than you thought. He never left. He never gave up. He never stopped loving you. And in those moments, it might seem like God has grown quiet, or even distant, like He's stopped reaching for you. But in truth, His voice has never gone silent, it's just that your heart has been drowning in everything else. Type 1919 to receive miracles from God. You've been fighting so hard to keep it all together. You've tried to be strong when no one saw the tears behind your smile. You've carried burdens too heavy for one person alone, and yet you've kept going because you didn't think you had another choice. But somewhere in the depths of all that survival, you stopped allowing yourself to be held. You stopped leaning on the one who designed your soul to need Him. And the longer you've gone without Him, the more you've started to feel like maybe you're too far away now. But here is the truth God wants to speak into your weary spirit: you're not too far. You've never been too far. There is no distance, no mistake, no silence that can separate you from the love of the one who formed you with intention, with tenderness, and with infinite care. He's not waiting to punish you. He's not standing with crossed arms, watching to see how much more you'll mess up. He's standing with open arms, ready to embrace you, ready to lead you back, ready to restore what's been lost inside of you. There are things you've been holding onto that have been slowly stealing your peace. Regrets that keep circling your mind. Words that were spoken over you that still sting. Failures that you wish you could erase. And underneath it all, there's been this growing ache, this silent longing to feel close to God again. But life has pulled you in every direction. And even though you've meant to turn back, it's felt too overwhelming, too complicated, too uncertain. But God doesn't need complicated. He just needs you to say yes. Yes, to coming as you are. Yes, to bringing Him your brokenness instead of pretending you're okay. Yes, to laying down your pride, your shame, your fear, and letting Him carry what you no longer have strength to bear. That's all He's ever wanted. Not perfection, but surrender. Not polished prayers, but honest hearts. Type yes to affirm you are ready for God's love. A 7-second brain-wave ritual, once reserved for elite people and hidden in CIA files, is now public, and people call it the 30-second miracle. Scientists say it awakens a dormant brain center tied to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's deleted again from the internet. You may not see it right now, but your heart is still beating for a reason. There's purpose still written over your life. There are still stories to be lived, people to love, hope to give, and peace to receive. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are not beyond restoration. You are not too late. And no matter how dark things may look right now, there is light ahead, pure, healing, divine light, and it's coming straight from the heart of God. When God says something shocking is going to happen, it's not always about fear or warning, it's often about breakthrough. It's about shaking what has kept you bound. It's about removing what was never meant to stay. Sometimes, God allows things to be shaken not to harm you, but to wake you up. To remind you of who He is. To draw you closer. To lift you out of what you didn't even know was holding you back. That's not cruelty. That's mercy. And maybe this message, this very moment, is the shaking you didn't expect. A whisper that reaches deep into your soul and reminds you that the God who created everything is still after your heart. He's still writing your story. He's still turning pages you thought were already closed. And He's not done yet. Let your spirit rest in that truth for a moment. Let it reach past your mind and settle into your bones. You don't have to run anymore. You don't have to hide. You don't have to fake strength when your heart is breaking inside. You can come to Him in your weakness. You can fall into His arms. You can let go of the weight you've been carrying alone for far too long. God is not tired of you. He is tired of seeing you miss the joy He's prepared for you. He's tired of watching the enemy lie to you and tell you that you'll never be good enough, that your past defines you, that you're beyond help. God says otherwise. God says, you are still loved. Still wanted. still called, still chosen, still enough, not because of what you've done, but because of who He is. There's nothing random about this moment. There's nothing accidental about these words finding you today. This is heaven touching earth in your direction. This is mercy standing at your door. This is grace, reaching wide. The question is no longer whether God loves you, that has always been certain. The question is, will you let Him in? Open the door. Let Him come into the parts of your heart that have been closed for too long. Let Him speak peace over the storms inside you. Let Him silence the voices that have been lying to you, telling you that your story is over. It's not. It's just beginning again, this time with Him at the center. God's not after your performance. He's after your heart. And if you offer it to Him, broken pieces and all, He will do something you never expected. He will restore you. He will rebuild you. He will breathe life into the places that have gone cold. And He will give you beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, and hope for every weary corner of your soul. Sometimes, God's voice becomes the quietest when we are surrounded by too much noise, noise from the world, from our own anxious thoughts, from broken relationships, from fear that whispers we've missed our chance. But even then, His voice is still there, waiting for our hearts to slow down, waiting for us to realize that nothing else will satisfy the hunger we've been trying to feed with everything but Him. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to lead you back into the light. There are seasons when we drift, not always with rebellion, but often through slow neglect. We get busy. We grow tired. We begin to numb the ache rather than heal it. And somewhere along the way, we lose our closeness with God, not because He left, but because we started to look elsewhere for what only He can provide. But even when we've stopped reaching for Him, He's never stopped reaching for us. God is not distant. He is not hiding. He is near, and He is still speaking, still calling, still knocking at the door of your soul. He has seen the weight pressing down on you, the tears you never let fall, the silent ache you carry at night when the world feels too heavy. And through it all, His heart remains open to you. There is no condemnation in His gaze, only compassion, only grace, only deep and endless love that cannot be broken by time or silence or even sin. So many people spend their lives searching for something that will finally make them feel whole. They chase love, approval, success, and comfort, but still come up empty. Because nothing in this world was ever meant to complete you. Only God can do that. Only His love can reach into the corners of your soul where no one else sees and breathe peace into the places that have been anxious for far too long. You were made for something more than survival. You were created for connection, with your Creator, with the one who knows the deepest parts of you and still calls you His own. He doesn't need you to have it all together. He doesn't require your perfection. He simply longs for your presence, your honesty, your willingness to return. He misses you, not the version of you that performs or pretends, but the real you. The hurting you. The hopeful you. The you that wants to come home but doesn't know how. And here's the truth, you don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to make yourself worthy. You just have to say, God, I need you. That's where it begins. That's where healing starts. That's where chains begin to fall, not through effort, but through surrender. Type 1212 if you walk by faith even when it's hard. A 7-second brainwave ritual uncovered from sealed records and hidden in CIA files is transforming financial lives. It activates a forgotten abundance channel in the brain, leading to new financial opportunities and cleared debts. Click the link in the comments below before it disappears. God sees the path you've been walking. He knows the burdens you've carried alone. He understands the pain that you don't even know how to put into words. And He's not angry that you've drifted. He's not shocked by your silence. He's simply longing for you to return. To rest. To stop running and finally allow yourself to be loved again. The most shocking thing that may happen isn't what you fear, it might be the way your heart begins to heal the moment you open up to Him again. It might be the way peace floods in when you let go of trying to control everything and allow God to lead. It might be how quickly joy returns when you realize you were never meant to walk this road alone. That is what makes grace so beautiful. It doesn't wait until you have it all figured out, it meets you right in the middle of your confusion, your failure, your chaos. There's something sacred about this moment. Not because of the words, but because of the spirit behind them. God is using this moment to reach you in a way you didn't expect. He's not pushing you, He's inviting you. He's not demanding, He's gently calling. That is how much He loves you. That is how much He wants you close again. You don't have to go back to the way things were before. You can start new. Right here, right now. You can take a breath and whisper His name, and everything can begin to shift. He's not waiting for you at the finish line. He's already by your side, ready to walk with you, guide you, and love you every step of the way. Let the walls come down. Let the fear melt away. Let the weight of guilt fall off your shoulders. You are not defined by your distance from God. You are defined by His love for you, and that love never changes. It never weakens. It never runs dry. And it's available to you now, no matter what you've done, no matter how long it's been. Come back to Him. Not out of fear, but out of longing. Not because of pressure, but because your soul is tired of pretending it doesn't need what it was made for. Come back not with big promises or flawless prayers, but with simple honesty. Come as you are, and you will find that His heart has always been open. His hands have always been reaching. And His grace has always been enough. Let this be the part of your story where things begin to change, not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you're no longer walking through it alone. Let this be the place where hope rises again, where peace returns, where faith is restored and the voice of God becomes clearer than the noise around you. But God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't turned away. In fact, this could be the very moment He has been preparing you for, the moment when your heart is finally ready to receive what He's been trying to give all along, peace, purpose, and the promise that you are not walking this path alone. Type Amen if you believe God is still with you in this season. It's easy to feel discouraged when the journey feels long and the prayers seem unanswered. When days blur into weeks and you wonder if God is even listening. But the silence doesn't mean absence. Sometimes, God's greatest work happens in the waiting. Sometimes, the stillness is where the deepest healing begins. And sometimes, the shaking that feels so unsettling is the very thing that sets you free from what was never meant to stay. You might not have seen it, but God has been protecting you from things you didn't know were dangerous. He's been delaying things not to harm you, but to prepare your heart. He's been allowing certain things to fall apart so that better things, stronger, lasting, and full of Him, can fall into place. He sees further than you. He knows what's around the corner. And every time He asked you to wait, to trust, to keep going, it was because He was building something holy inside of you. There is nothing wasted with God. Not your pain, not your tears, not the seasons where you felt like you had no strength left. Every moment has been seen. Every moment is being used. And though you might not be able to see it yet, one day you'll understand why it had to happen this way. Because God never leaves a story unfinished, and He never allows pain without the promise of redemption. He's not angry at you for doubting. He understands your heart better than anyone. He knows how deeply you've been trying, how much you've been carrying, how long you've been praying. And He's not asking you to have unshakable faith, He's just asking you not to give up. Not to close the door. Not to walk away from the love that's been chasing you every day of your life. Type 777 if you're not giving up on God even when it's hard. Some of the most beautiful miracles begin when we reach the end of ourselves. When we finally let go of trying to control everything and fall into the arms of the one who's been waiting to catch us. God never needed your perfection, He only wanted your surrender. Your willingness to say, I can't do this on my own. I need you. And when you say those words with a humble heart, Heaven listens. Grace pours in. Strength rises. And things begin to change, not always around you, but first within you. Using a simple 7-second brain wave ritual, once classified and hidden in CIA files, can unlock wealth, freedom, and success already inside you. This discovery is helping thousands step into abundance, and God has led you here for a reason. Click the link in the description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency today. There is something sacred about reaching the breaking point. Because when everything else falls apart, that's when we often realize the only thing holding us together has been God all along. The job may have failed. The relationship may have ended. The plan may have crumbled. But God remains. Steady. Unmoving. Faithful. And that truth, more than anything else, is where your hope can rise again. You don't have to keep pretending to be okay. You don't have to keep pushing down the pain just to make it through the day. God already knows. He already sees. And still, He's not walking away. He's not finished with you. He's not disappointed. He is inviting you to lean in, to rest in Him, to trust Him, to let Him be the strength you've been trying to find elsewhere. Even now, He's working. Even now, He's closer than your breath. Even now, He's holding your future, shaping your story, and surrounding you with a love that cannot be taken, broken, or earned. You don't have to earn what's already been freely given. You just have to receive it. So if your heart is tired, let this be the moment you breathe again. Let this be the moment you unclench your fists and let go of what you've been carrying. You were not made to walk this life without God. You were not meant to bear the weight of this world alone. Let Him lift it from you. Let Him replace your anxiety with peace, your sorrow with joy, and your confusion with purpose. There's more ahead for you. There are still blessings waiting, still promises unfolding, still beauty to rise from the ashes of your hardest days. The story isn't over. The ending hasn't been written yet. And with God, every chapter, yes, even the broken ones, can be turned into something meaningful, something that brings light to others, something that reveals His goodness in the middle of your grief. You don't have to be afraid of what's coming next. You don't have to live in fear of the unknown. Because God is already there. He's already in the tomorrow you're worrying about. He's already making a way where there seems to be none. And what feels shocking or uncertain to you is fully under His control. That's the kind of peace He offers. That's the kind of presence He brings. Let this message not be just another moment you scroll past. Let it reach your heart. Let it remind you of who you are, and more importantly, whose you are. You are a child of the King. You are not abandoned. You are not unseen. You are loved, chosen, called, and never beyond His reach. Open this quickly by 11:57 p.m. before it's too late. Every day that passes, you felt something pressing on your heart, a quiet nudge you've tried to ignore, a gentle pull you didn't fully understand. But it hasn't gone away. No matter how distracted you've been, no matter how far your mind has wandered, that soft voice keeps returning, whispering truth, whispering love, reminding you that God is still here and still calling you home. Type 1010 if you feel the pull of God gently calling you back. The world has a way of convincing us that we're alone. It tells us to be strong, to hide our pain, to figure things out on our own. And we try. We hold it together for as long as we can. But deep down, there comes a moment when we feel it all catching up. The weight gets heavier. The silence gets louder. And in the stillness, we finally realize we were never meant to carry any of this without God. There is a moment in every heart when it finally sees the truth, that all the love, joy, peace, and purpose it has been craving cannot be found in the world, in people, or in things. It can only be found in the one who created that heart. That moment of realization is sacred. It's quiet, but powerful. And it often comes when we're exhausted, when we've run out of options, when we've tried everything else and nothing has worked. It comes when we're finally ready to be still. Stillness isn't weakness. It's surrender. It's opening our hands and saying, God, I don't have the answers, but I know you do. It's admitting that we can't do it alone anymore. That we need help. That we need hope. That we need healing. And it's in that moment of quiet surrender that God steps in, not with judgment, but with grace. Not with disappointment, but with love. You don't have to be afraid of returning to Him. He's not angry at you. He's not waiting to remind you of all the times you turned away. He's just happy to see you coming home. He's just happy you're listening again. And no matter how long you've been gone, the welcome is the same. His arms are still wide open. His heart is still full of love for you. Type 333 if you're ready to say, God, I'm listening now. There is nothing ordinary about this moment. God is reaching for you in the middle of your everyday life, speaking to your heart in a way you can't ignore. He's breaking through the noise, the doubt, the pain, the distractions, because He knows what you need, and He's not willing to let you go another day without being reminded of it. You need peace. Not the kind the world gives, but real peace. The kind that settles your heart even when everything around you feels uncertain. The kind that helps you sleep again, breathe again, hope again. And that kind of peace comes from Jesus. It doesn't come through effort, it comes through relationship, through knowing Him, walking with Him, talking to Him like a friend who never leaves. A powerful 7-second morning ritual, once hidden in CIA files, is resurfacing, and people are already seeing fast financial breakthroughs. It takes only seconds, yet activates a dormant wealth center in the brain most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now. Access it before it disappears. Maybe it's been a long time since you talked to God. Maybe you don't even know where to begin. That's okay. There's no script. There's no perfect prayer. All God wants is your honesty. He already knows your pain, your fears, your regrets. He knows your questions and your doubts. And still, He's right here. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's never stopped loving you. You may feel broken. You may feel like you've made too many mistakes. But God doesn't see what's wrong with you, He sees what's still possible with you. He sees the purpose still buried beneath the pain. He sees the light that hasn't gone out yet. And He knows how to breathe life back into the places that have been silent for too long. This is a holy interruption. This is a divine appointment. It's God placing a moment in front of you and saying, look up. Listen closely. I'm speaking to you. Don't miss this. He's been trying to reach you through the noise, through the hurt, through the distractions. And now, He's asking you to pause, to pay attention, to take this seriously. What if this is the beginning of something new? What if this is the moment your heart starts to heal? What if everything you've been praying for starts with one small yes? You don't have to fix everything right now. You just have to come closer. One step. One word. One prayer. That's how it begins. Let go of what's been keeping you from Him. Let go of the fear that says you're not enough. Let go of the guilt that tries to convince you you're too far gone. None of that comes from God. He speaks with mercy. He draws near with kindness. And He's more ready to restore you than you are to return. That's the goodness of His love. It always meets us where we are. You were never meant to live numb. You were never meant to stay stuck. You were created for more than survival. There is light ahead, even if you can't see it yet. There is healing in the places you've written off as too damaged. There is peace, not after everything gets better, but now, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the noise, in the middle of your story. God isn't asking you to be fearless. He's asking you to trust. To trust that He's still in control. To trust that He hasn't forgotten what He promised. To trust that your name is still written in His hands, and your life still matters deeply to Him. And when you choose to trust Him, even a little, that trust begins to open doors you thought were permanently shut. God has been trying to reach your heart, softly, patiently, through every quiet moment and every wave of emotion you couldn't explain. Even when you didn't realize it, even when you were busy trying to keep your world together, His eyes never left you, not once, not for a moment. Type 999 if you know deep down that this message is meant for you. You've been walking through some hard things lately, maybe in silence, maybe with a smile that hides the hurt. You've learned how to keep going even when your heart is aching, how to keep moving forward even when it feels like the ground beneath you is shaking. And God sees that. He sees how much you've tried to be strong for everyone else. He sees the weight you carry when no one is around. And He doesn't want you to keep carrying it alone. You were never meant to walk through life in your own strength. You were never meant to carry every burden without help. God created you to live with Him, to talk with Him, to lean on Him when things feel too heavy. But the world teaches us to do the opposite, to pretend we're okay, to keep pushing, to handle everything by ourselves. And somewhere in the middle of all that, we forget how to rest in God. We forget how to be still and let Him be the one who holds it all. But the beautiful thing about God is that He doesn't hold our distance against us. He doesn't keep count of how many days we've ignored Him or how many times we've walked away. His mercy is new every morning. His love never runs out. His arms are still open, just as they've always been, waiting for us to come home, not to a place, but to Him. Type 444 if you believe God's mercy is still reaching for you. What you're feeling right now, the stirring, the soft ache in your chest, the feeling like something holy is brushing up against your soul, that's not just emotion. That's the Spirit of God moving. That's His presence surrounding you, calling you deeper, whispering, "You are not alone. I am still here. I still want you." There's so much power in being seen. And God sees you. Not just the version of you that others see, but the real you. The you that gets overwhelmed. The you that struggles to pray sometimes. The you that's felt forgotten. The you that doubts if your life is really going anywhere. He sees all of it, and He calls you worthy of love. Worthy of healing. Worthy of hope. Even now, He's working things out in ways you can't see yet. Even now, He's arranging moments, moving pieces, softening hearts, and clearing paths ahead of you. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, something is. Because God is never still when it comes to your heart. He is always pursuing, always planning, always providing. And while it may feel like you've missed your moment or failed too many times, that's not the truth. God is never late. He works beyond time. He redeems what was lost. He restores what was broken. He brings beauty out of ashes, not just once, but again and again and again. That's the kind of God He is. That's the kind of love He gives. A simple but powerful 7-second at-home ritual, it's hidden in CIA files for years, is now changing lives rapidly. Backed by neuroscience research, it can begin shifting your financial direction in just days. Click the link in the description and comments now and step into abundance today. You don't need to pretend with him. You don't need to fix yourself before you come close. Just show up. Just open your heart, even if it's just a little. Just let him into the places you've kept locked up for so long. He knows what to do with the pain. He knows how to heal what others broke. He knows how to breathe life into things you thought were long gone. There's a shift happening. A holy awakening. Something inside of you knows there's more to life than just surviving it. Something inside of you knows there's a peace that can't be found in anything this world offers. And that something is your soul remembering its source. Remembering the one who made it. The one who loved it first. Let that remembering lead you back. Back to prayer, even if it's a whisper. Back to stillness, even if it's messy. Back to trust, even if it's fragile. Because every step toward God, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. And He will meet you every time. Always. The enemy would love for you to believe you're too far gone. He would love to keep you numb, disconnected, and distracted. But God says otherwise. God says you are chosen. You are called. You are His. Nothing can separate you from that truth. Not your past. Not your failures. Not even your doubts. His love holds tighter than all of it. This moment is a gift. A chance to pause. A chance to come home to the one who has been loving you through every season, even the ones where you couldn't feel it. Don't let this moment slip away. Don't brush it off. Let it sink in. Let it move you. Let it bring you to your knees if it must, because that's often where the deepest healing begins. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment. This is the moment. This is God saying, "You're still mine. Come close again. I have more for you than you can imagine." A quiet pull that gently asked you to pause, reflect, and notice the deeper things happening inside you. That isn't a coincidence. That's God. He's been gently pressing on your heart, whispering truth into the places that have long been aching for more. Type 1313 if you felt God calling you back to Him in small, quiet ways. There comes a time in every life when we stop and realize we've been running on empty. We've filled our days with distractions, hoping they'd soothe the unrest, numb the pain, or at least keep us from thinking too much. But sooner or later, all of it runs dry. The joy fades, the noise quiets, and we're left face to face with a deeper question: what am I really searching for? In that sacred stillness, God speaks, not through pressure, not through fear, but through the gentlest of whispers. He says, "Come home. Let me love you where you are. You don't have to keep striving. You don't have to keep pretending. Just come." His love isn't reserved for the polished version of you. It isn't earned through perfect behavior or long prayers. His love was already there before you even thought of returning. It's always been there. Patient. Unchanging. Waiting. But the longer you ignore His voice, the heavier life becomes. The distance between you and God is never created by Him. It's created by the quiet choices we make, one day at a time, to turn away, to keep busy, to silence the longing that keeps rising. Yet even in that distance, He doesn't stop calling. He doesn't stop watching over you. And He certainly doesn't stop loving you. There is no part of your heart that is too messy for God. No emotion too raw. No thought too dark. No season too far gone. He is not surprised by what you carry. He is not burdened by your brokenness. In fact, it is in your weakness that His strength shows up most clearly. He delights in restoring, in healing, in putting back the pieces with care and purpose. And the pieces of your life, as shattered as they may feel right now, are not beyond repair in the hands of the One who made you. Type 1515 if you're ready to give your brokenness to the One who can restore it completely. There is so much more to your story than what you see right now. You may feel stuck, confused, overwhelmed, or even numb. You may not know what the next step looks like. But God does. He sees the road ahead. He sees how this pain will be used for something holy. He sees how this sorrow will one day lead to joy. He sees how your healing is already in motion, even if you don't feel it yet. He's not asking you to see the whole picture. He's just asking you to trust Him with today. To let Him lead you one step at a time. To place your heart in His hands and say, I don't know how to fix this, but I trust that you do. That's all He's ever wanted, your trust, your surrender, your willingness to let Him in. And if you feel like your faith is too weak, let Him strengthen it. If you feel like your heart is too scarred, let Him soothe it. If you feel like you've wandered too far, let Him remind you that nothing can separate you from His love. Not your mistakes. Not your silence. Not even your doubts. You don't need to come to God with answers. You just need to come. The rest will unfold as you walk with Him. He will reveal what you need to know, when you need to know it. He will heal what you didn't even know was wounded. He will protect you in ways you may never see, and guide you with a love that never fails. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. This moment, right now, is holy. Not because of anything you've done, but because God is here. His Spirit is near. He is closer than your breath, and His presence is heavy with grace, longing to lift the weight off your shoulders. You don't have to carry everything anymore. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. You can be held. You can rest. You can finally be honest with yourself and with Him. Let the walls fall. Let the masks drop. Let the truth rise. It's okay to say you're not okay. It's okay to admit you need help. In fact, that's where freedom begins. God doesn't heal what we hide, He heals what we hand over to Him. And the more you open your heart, the more healing can begin to flow. Don't be afraid of the silence. It's in the quiet where His voice becomes the loudest. It's in the stillness where your soul can finally breathe again. It's in the surrender where miracles begin. And yes, something shocking might happen, but not in the way you think. It might not be disaster. It might be deliverance. It might be the moment you finally let go of everything you were never meant to carry and receive everything God has been waiting to give. Hope is still alive. Grace is still available. Mercy is still chasing you down. And the story isn't over. Your name is still written on God's heart. Your life is still held in His hands. And your tomorrow can still be filled with purpose, light, and joy that no one can take from you. There's a reason your soul feels stirred right now, even if your mind can't fully explain it. This is not an accident. This is not just a feeling. This is a sacred call from God Himself, a quiet but urgent reminder that time is precious, and the window to respond to His voice won't stay open forever. Type 1414 if you know it's time to open your heart to Him again. Somewhere along the way, you may have lost sight of who you truly are. Life has a way of burying us under fear, failure, disappointment, and endless pressure to be more, do more, and pretend everything is fine. You've been carrying a weight that no one else sees. You've been holding yourself together while feeling like everything inside of you is slowly falling apart. And still, you wake up, you keep going, you smile through it. But God sees beneath all of it. He sees the tears behind the strength, the exhaustion behind the effort, the longing behind the silence. You don't have to keep hiding. You don't have to keep pretending. God is not looking for perfection, He's looking for honesty. He already knows your thoughts. He already feels your pain. And still, He's drawing near, not to condemn you, but to comfort you. He wants to speak peace into the parts of you that no one else has access to. He wants to remind you that you are more than your struggles, more than your past, more than what others have said about you. You are His. Even now, He's reaching out to you with gentle hands, not to shame you, but to lift you. To steady your shaking heart. To remind you that the darkness you've walked through is not the end of your story. That pit you thought you'd never get out of, He's already standing in it with you, and His arm is stretched out, ready to pull you back into light. Type 1616 if you're ready to be pulled out of the darkness and into God's light. When God speaks, it often comes as a whisper, soft enough to miss if we're too distracted, yet strong enough to break chains when we're ready to listen. He is still whispering now. Through this very message. Through the stillness in your chest. Through the tears that come for no reason. Through the sudden warmth that wraps around your spirit when you slow down long enough to let Him in. You may have grown used to doing everything on your own, thinking that no one truly understands the weight you carry, but God does. He understands it more than anyone ever could. Because He's been walking with you through every step of it, even the moments when you thought you were completely alone. He was there, holding you together when you couldn't hold yourself. And now He's asking you to stop running. Not out of fear, but because your soul wasn't made to live apart from Him. The longer you run, the more tired you'll become. The further you drift, the louder the emptiness inside will grow. But the moment you turn around, you'll find Him standing right there, not a step behind, but right beside you, because He never stopped chasing after you, not even once. This isn't about religion. This isn't about doing everything right or checking every box. This is about love. Real love. Love that stays. Love that forgives. Love that sees every broken part of you and still says, "You are worth it. You are mine. Come back." You may feel unworthy. You may feel ashamed. You may feel unsure. But none of those feelings can cancel out the truth of God's love. His love doesn't shrink in the face of your failures. It doesn't hesitate when you hesitate. It is steady. It is sure. And it is strong enough to meet you exactly where you are. He knows the fears you haven't voiced. He knows the weight of unanswered prayers. He knows how much you've tried to fix things in your own strength. And He's not here to say, "I told you so." He's here to say, "I've been here all along. Let me help you now." Don't miss this. This moment right here, this quiet turning point, could be the beginning of your healing. The beginning of your restoration. The moment the light comes back into the places you thought would stay dim forever. God doesn't just want to comfort you. He wants to change your life. He wants to fill the emptiness with purpose. He wants to replace the fear with peace. He wants to take your broken pieces and shape them into something beautiful.